Mother Nature certainly put on a show almost all night long.
Yeah, lightning all around the metro area lit up the skies overnight. Take a look at this. There's lightning in every direction. The storm raged on from about 10 o'clock last night to at least 3:30 this morning. Lots of calls for emergency crews all around town during the height of it. A roof camera downtown caught some of the show. Take a look at that lightning. This is just a small glimpse of what was going on. I'm sure you heard and saw it yourselves. Rumbling, rolling thunder kept dogs on edge, and a lot of people too. A few cracks of thunder waking people up, illuminating the rooms, the kind of morning where you wake up with your kids and dogs in bed with you. Do you want to talk about this? Kristen mentioned the power outages. Or the lights that were out. Those are at Eubank, Comanche, and Candelaria. There's some on Academy and San Mateo. And then the issue of the power outages. I just checked with PNM. About 2,000 to 3,000 people don't have power right now. PNM says it could be all day until the lights get turned back on. I'd also new for you this morning, a motorcycle rider is dead after this crash on Albuquerque's west side last night. This happened about 7:15 at Unser and Blue Water. Albuquerque police tell us the rider crashed into a large SUV. And people in the area saw it all.
The bike went past us, the RV turned out of the turning lane and didn't see him, and the bike went under the RV and took him out.
The intersection was temporarily shut down. It is back open this morning. Police have not released the rider's name or any other details just yet. Well, some store owners in Old Town are feeling betrayed and duped this morning.
Yes, the former president of the Old Town Merchant Association was supposed to be managing a lot of the money for them, but now he is gone, and so is that money.
I was clueless.
Well, Sally Moon is now the president of the association. The man who held the post before her is David Rendon, David Redfeather, or David Medicine Eagle, a man with many names and a man who has a lengthy criminal history. He was convicted in Colorado and Utah for theft, forgery, even has a conviction of a minor sex crime against a minor. Well, shop owners are furious. They believe he is to blame for the disappearance of more than $20,000 earmarked to advertise and market Old Town. His landlord claims Redfeather owes him more than $13 grand in back rent. APD says it's investigating, but they can't find him right now. That deadly double shooting we told you about from Wednesday night in Northeast Albuquerque has turned out to be a murder-suicide. Police say 65-year-old William Swartwood shot his wife Barbara at their home near Lomas and Carlisle, then shot himself. It's the second murder-suicide this week in Albuquerque. On Monday, a man killed his son-in-law, then himself near Unser and Blue Water.
Sentencing is scheduled again today for convicted killer Travis Rigel in the 2009 execution-style shooting of Felix Zamora in the East Mountains. You may recall last September, Rigel was supposed to be sentenced for the murder, but that got sidetracked when his mother, Misty Romero, passed Rigel an envelope full of papers to her son's attorneys to give to him. Well, deputies found meth and heroin stashed inside, so now Rigel's facing an extra 6 years for that stunt, on top of the 45 he's already facing for the murder. No word on if his mom was ever charged. We'll let you know what happens in court a little bit later today. Well, 3 boys involved in a possible drug-induced stabbing in Rio Rancho this week, all of them younger than 15. 3 boys were stabbed at this house in the southwest part of Rio Rancho about 8 Wednesday morning. Police say the youngest of the kids, just 11 years old, he was rushed to the hospital after he was stabbed a number of times in his stomach. Investigators are not sure if he stabbed himself or if his friends did it. Another 11-year-old and a 14-year-old had minor cuts on their hands. Police are trying to figure out if the boys were high on spice, that synthetic marijuana.
The state's big auction of unclaimed property from abandoned safety deposit boxes is set for Saturday, and online bidding has already started. But a number of those unclaimed keepsakes have been pulled off the auction block because they're not unclaimed anymore. The state has gotten 8 claims for unclaimed property in the last week alone, and that is actually more than it typically receives in a year. Some of the claimed items include a 7-pound gold bar, a personally inscribed pocket watch, and a wedding ring and necklace. The unclaimed property supervisor says sales like these are bittersweet because of some of the items that are part of someone's family history.
I'm ready for the auction to happen. It's like sending my children off to college, and I'm ready for them to go. But I will miss them.
More than 750 items will be sold Saturday at the Albuquerque Convention Center. After that, more than 8,000 other unclaimed treasures will be auctioned off online. New Mexico's war on feral hogs is now a weaponized one. These pigs destroy land, crops, and introduce disease. Well, now the Ruidoso News says the state has a plan in Capitan in the wilderness to shoot the pigs from helicopters. It started last week and it is taking place in remote wilderness areas where the pigs are just hard to find. Officials say they will not be in close proximity to private land, but if homeowners see these hogs on their property, they can sign up to help eradicate them.
A rare stomach bug caused by a parasite commonly linked to fresh produce has now been reported in 11 states. It is growing, and health officials warn the outbreak may spread even further. Nearly 300 people have gotten sick in Iowa, Nebraska, Texas, Wisconsin, Georgia, Connecticut, Illinois, Kansas, Minnesota, New Jersey, and Ohio. Thankfully not here in New Mexico just yet. The cyclospora parasite commonly comes from fresh produce, particularly produce grown in other countries. It causes an intestinal illness that can last for months. It includes fatigue, weight loss, nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting.
I'm encouraging anyone that have bought fruits and vegetables that they thoroughly wash, or the other option is to cook the food, or just to avoid it all if possible.
And health officials are not sure whether a domestic or foreign product caused this outbreak. So far, no cases, again, have been reported here in New Mexico. And efforts to vaccinate girls against the cancer-causing human papilloma HPV virus have stalled. According to the Centers for Disease Control, HPV vaccine rates for adolescent girls remain the same between 2011 and 2012. Only 1/3 of all girls got the full 3-dose series of shots, which is a slight decline. The director of the CDC says we're missing opportunities to give the HPV vaccinations, and that needs to change. An estimated 5,400 women will be diagnosed with cervical cancer this year, and 1,400 women will die of it. And I guess right now, with that vaccine, it is all preventable.
Yeah.